POV, you won 70 million and stayed silent. You win $70 million on a Tuesday afternoon, and the first person you want to tell is your mother. That is the sad part. Not your friends, not your coworkers, not some lawyer or banker or financial advisor. Your mother. You sit in your car outside the gas station with the ticket in your trembling hand, checking the numbers again and again until the screen on your phone starts to blur. The first number matches, then the second, then the third. By the time the last number appears, your heart is pounding so hard, it feels like someone is knocking from inside your chest. $70 million. Your whole life changes in the parking lot of a gas station with bad coffee, flickering lights, and a cracked sign above the door. For a few minutes, you just sit there. You think about your tiny apartment, your old car, the student loans you still haven't paid off, the way your boss says we're a family here every time he asks you to work late without overtime. Then you think about your mother. You imagine her crying. You imagine her hugging you. You imagine her saying that your father would have been proud. So you drive straight to her house. You do not call first. You want to see her face when you tell her. You want one clean, happy moment before the world gets complicated. But when you open the front door, the moment dies before it is born. Your mother is sitting at the dining room table. Your older brother, Mark, sits beside her, leaning back like he already owns the room. Your sister, Claire, stands near the kitchen counter with a cup of coffee in her hand, and that little smirk she always wears when she knows something you do not. And on the table, lined up neatly in 4 perfect stacks, are 4 property deeds. You recognize your father's handwriting on one of the folders. For a second, nobody speaks. Your mother looks up at you and smiles. But it is not a warm smile. It is the kind of smile people use when the decision has already been made, and they are only waiting for you to accept it. You're home, she says. Good. We were just talking about your father's properties. You stand in the doorway, still holding the lottery ticket in your pocket. What properties? Your mother folds her hands on the table. Before your father died, he left 4 rental homes, 2 on the west side, 2 near the south end. Together, they're worth around $9.5 million. You stare at the deeds. You knew your father had investments. You did not know this. Your mother continues before you can ask a single question. I've decided all 4 should go to Mark. The words enter the room softly, but they hit you like a door slamming. Mark does not look at you. Claire does. She watches your face carefully, waiting for it to crack. Your mother keeps speaking in that calm, reasonable voice she uses when she wants something unfair to sound mature. Mark has a family. His kids are growing up. They'll need college funds. He has responsibilities. You're single. You don't have anyone depending on you. You don't need property like that. You almost laugh, not because it is funny, because your body has no better reaction. Claire sets her coffee down and says, honestly, even if Mom gave you 1 house, could you afford the taxes, the maintenance, insurance? You make what? $5,000 a month? Mark finally moves. He takes the folders and slides them closer to himself one by one. That small movement tells you everything. They had not called you here for a discussion. They had called you here for your silence. You look at your mother and remember being 10 years old, watching Mark get the new bike while you got his old one. You remember being 16 and working weekends while your mother paid for Mark's private tutoring. You remember your father promising things would be fair one day. Maybe he meant it. Maybe he never knew fairness in your family depended on who your mother loved most. You take a slow breath. The lottery ticket feels warm in your pocket. $70 million. $56 million after taxes. According to the claim office estimate, you had already checked 3 times on the drive over. You could say it right now. You could pull out the ticket, place it on the table, and watch their faces change. You could turn their pity into panic. You could make Claire choke on that smirk and make Mark suddenly remember you exist. But something stops you. Maybe it is anger. Maybe it is clarity. Maybe it is the first smart financial decision of your life. So you say nothing about the money. Instead, you look at your mother and say, if Mark gets all 4 houses, then Mark can take care of your bills, your appointments, and your retirement. The room goes still. Your mother blinks. What? You heard me, you say. If I don't need anything from this family, then this family doesn't need anything from me. Claire scoffs. Don't be dramatic. Your mother's face hardens. You barely make enough to support yourself, she says. Don't act like you were carrying this family. You nod. She is right. You were never carrying the family. You were carrying the guilt. Every hospital bill you helped pay. Every grocery trip you covered. Every time your mother called because her car needed repairs, or the electric bill was too high, or Mark was going through a difficult month. You were never the favorite. You were just useful. You turn around and walk to your old bedroom. Your mother calls after you, but you do not stop. You pack what little is still there. A box of books, some winter clothes, your father's old watch, and a photo of him standing beside you at a baseball field when you were 12. By the time you return to the dining room, Mark has already put the deeds into a leather folder. He looks up and gives you a fake concerned smile. Look, don't take this personally, he says. Mom just wants to be practical. You look at him for a long moment, then you say, I hope the houses are worth it. You leave before anyone can answer. The next morning, you claim the prize. The process is strangely boring. Forms, identification, tax paperwork, a quiet office, a woman behind a desk congratulating you like she has said the same sentence 1,000 times. When the money finally appears in your account, you do not celebrate. You just stare at the number. $56 million. It does not look real. It looks like a glitch. You refresh the banking app. The number stays. For the first time in your life, you are not worried about rent, food, gas, insurance, debt, emergencies, or whether one missed paycheck could destroy you. And somehow, you feel more alone than ever. That same week, you buy a condo in a quiet building downtown. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, big windows, clean walls, no history. The price is $3.8 million, paid in full. The real estate agent keeps smiling at you like she is waiting for you to explain yourself. But you do not. You sign the papers, take the keys, and stand in the empty living room while the city glows outside the windows. There is no furniture, no smell of your mother's cooking, no sound of Claire talking too loudly on the phone, no Mark opening the fridge like everything in the world belongs to him. Just empty rooms and quiet air. That night, you sleep in the floor with a folded hoodie under your head. You own a luxury condo and still sleep like a man who has nowhere to go. But the floor is yours. That matters. 4 days later, your sister calls. You almost ignore it, but curiosity wins. Are you free today? Claire asks, skipping hello. Why? I arranged lunch for you. You sit up on the mattress that finally arrived that morning. Lunch? With someone, a woman from my office. Her name is Emily. She's nice. Her situation is similar to yours. You already know what that means. Not rich, not impressive, not someone Claire respects. She's an assistant editor, Claire continues. Makes about what you make. Honestly, I think you two match. You nearly laugh. You have over $50 million sitting across several accounts now, and your sister is still placing you in the discount section of life. What time? You ask. There is a pause. Claire clearly expected you to refuse. Noon. Parkside Grill. Don't be late. And please wear something decent. So you do the opposite. You arrive wearing the same faded gray t-shirt you used to wear when helping your mother clean the garage. The collar is stretched. The fabric has little pills on it. Your jeans are old. Your sneakers are clean, but nothing special. Not because you are cheap. Because you want to see exactly who everyone becomes when they think you have nothing. Claire is already at the restaurant when you arrive. Across from her sits a woman with short brown hair, a simple blue blouse, and tired but kind eyes. She stands when she sees you. "Hi," she says. "I'm Emily." Her voice is calm, not sweet in a fake way, just calm. You introduce yourself and sit down. Claire takes control immediately. "So," she says, smiling too brightly, "he works in logistics, stable job. Not a huge salary, but stable." Emily glances at you, then back at Claire. "That's good," she says. Claire laughs. "Well, good enough, I guess. He's always been very simple. Doesn't need much. You can probably tell from the shirt." You take a sip of water. Emily's expression changes just slightly. Claire keeps going. "I'm only saying this because I care. He's not the ambitious type, but he's honest. And honestly, at this age, people need to be realistic." You look down at the table and smile. There was a time when you would have defended yourself. There was a time when you would have agreed just to keep the peace. Not anymore. Emily puts her fork down. "I don't think you need to talk about him like that," she says. Claire freezes. "What?" Emily's voice stays polite, but something firm enters it. "You invited me to lunch with your brother, not to watch you insult him." For the first time that day, Claire has no easy response. You look at Emily, genuinely surprised. Claire gives a short, uncomfortable laugh. "I'm not insulting him. I'm just being honest." "There's a difference," Emily says. The table goes quiet. You almost tell Emily everything right there. The lottery, the condo, the 4 houses, the years of being treated like an afterthought. But you do not. Because her defense means more if she thinks there is nothing to gain from it. After lunch, Claire leaves first, annoyed that the meal did not go according to her script. You and Emily walk outside together. The afternoon is bright, and traffic moves slowly through the street. "I'm sorry about her," you say. Emily shakes her head. "You don't have to apologize for someone else." You both stop at the corner. She looks at you and says, "For what it's worth, your value isn't your monthly salary." The sentence is simple, almost ordinary, but you feel it land somewhere deep. For years, your family measured you by what they could take from you or deny you. Money, property, respect, attention. This woman, who barely knows you, sees more clearly than your own mother ever did. You thank her. She smiles and walks away when the light changes. You stand there for a moment after she leaves. Not because you are in love, not because your life suddenly becomes perfect, but because, for once, someone looked at you without calculating your usefulness. That evening, your mother calls. You let it ring. Then she calls again. Then Claire. Then Mark. Finally, a text appears. Mom says Mark is overwhelmed. Property taxes are higher than expected. One of the rental homes needs a new roof. Another has a tenant who stopped paying. She says everyone is under stress. Then comes the sentence you knew would come eventually. We need your help. You look around your quiet condo. The furniture has arrived. The lights are warm. Your father's watch sits on the table beside the old photograph from the baseball field. You think about the lottery ticket. You think about the 4 deeds. You think about your mother saying you did not need anything. Then you type 3 words. Ask Mark first. You do not block them. Not yet. You set the phone down and walk to the window. Below you, the city moves like nothing happened. Cars slide through traffic. Office lights blink on. People carry groceries, argue on sidewalks, wait for buses, check their phones, live their lives. Nobody knows you are rich. Nobody knows you were erased from an inheritance and became a millionaire on the same day. Nobody knows that the person your family dismissed as useless is now the only one who could save them without noticing the cost. And for the first time, that secrecy feels better than revenge. Because revenge would have been showing them the money. Freedom is not needing to.